And the Founding Fathers had a clear understanding of how important freedom of speech is, and I wanted to read the First Amendment really quickly. Congress shall make no law respecting the establishment of religion or prohibiting the free exercise thereof, or abridging the freedom of speech, or of the press, or of the right of the people peaceably to assemble and to petition the government for redress of grievances. What do you think our Founding Fathers were thinking about when they crafted the First Amendment? And possibly, what were they trying to prevent?
Well, our Founding Fathers were skeptical of government in general. And to them, I think it was an identification of truth through the process of speech. So this may seem like a nuanced point, but I hope it's not. These are not rights that they gave us. These are rights that they believed we already had, that government could not take away. Again, think of this as government versus individual. Government versus individual. What you do in your private lives, if you own a radio station, I don't have a right to break into your radio station and host your 4 o'clock show. That's private to private. This is a government versus citizen interaction. They were skeptical of government. We got the 10 Amendments, the Bill of Rights, as a negotiation because they were so skeptical of government. In order to get the Constitution ratified, some insisted on the Bill of Rights, the first 10. So to the extent that you believe there's something called the truth, it helps us find it when you have the right, without fear of punishment from government, to say what you think is true. What our Founding Fathers would say is, we don't want government doing it. Government is not the person to sort out what is true and what is not true. Can government do it to intimidate you or punish you? The answer is no. And we say government like it's some entity. It is an amalgamation of people.
There seems to be a really disturbing trend that the government gets bigger and bigger and more powerful. And the shift of balance is leaving us, we the people, and going to these government bureaucrats where they have no problem prosecuting us and sending us to jail. But people that, just because they're a government employee, they're protected. How can we shift that balance? Is it just the executive branch, as you mentioned, or is it a longer term type of initiative?
The legislative branch has surrendered, frankly, the biggest tool we have, which is appropriations. Our framers gave us appropriations. So we've surrendered our ability to hold people accountable with appropriations. The Senate has advice and consent. We'll see how and what way they use that next year. A lot of it is, our framers, I don't think, ever envisioned government to be the size that it is. Powers that are not given to the federal government belong to you, the people, and then they belong to the states in the 10th Amendment.
Which do you value more, truth or freedom? And every single person in my office said freedom. And I said, okay, which do you value more, unity or diversity? And every one but one said diversity. Look, truth and freedom are both really important. But at some point, you and your generation have to ask yourselves, what is the benefit of the freedom to be wrong? Do you really value freedom more than truth? Do you even think there is a truth? But we are, after all, the United States of America. So what is it that unites us? You got to figure out what you believe, and more importantly, you got to figure out why you believe it. It is never enough in politics or any other sphere of persuasion to simply tell people what you believe. You have to tell them why you believe it and actually live out what you profess to believe. And your generation will get this country headed back in the direction that you want it to be.